Good Friday afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rusty 78609 coming to you live in color and in color from Capitan, New Mexico on a hot day. It's about 92 degrees out there, and I'm so glad I got my new little 5,000 BTU Frigidaire AC in the window in the front and the cab of the motorhome. This is a Class C motorhome for you new guys. And this is Beer 30 Sanity Session. And what do we do at Beer 30 Sanity Sessions? Well, some of us drink beer, others drink iced tea, and others smoke a blunt. But here's to you, here's to me. Yeah, it's hot and dry here, guys. Hot and dry, and it has been hot and dry for a long time. And any of you people that are RVers, camper types, that were planning on coming to New Mexico for Memorial Day weekend and chilling out and camping in the forests around Cloudcroft and Ruidoso, you ain't gonna do it. Why? Because they're closed, babe. And even some of the Bureau of Land Management campgrounds are closed also. So be sure you check before you go. And one of the things I want to show you in this video today is I have a new, well, I'll show you. Introducing PJ2. PJ stands for P-Jug, okay? And it is, as you can see, a 5-pound jug or a 5.5-pound container of chia seeds, which I've eaten over a period of about 2 years. But yeah, the good thing about this thing is it has a little grip handle right here. You know what I mean? So that way you don't drop your tee on the ground, okay, when you're doing your thing. So yeah, that's PJ number 2. PJ number 1 will go in the garbage outside. This girl's mother, Matilda. Big Matilda's outside, little Matilda's inside. But having said that, yeah, it's going to be hot and dry for the weekend here in New Mexico, and for those of you that are camping, be prepared, okay? And then what else is going on in my area of the world? Well, actually, quite a bit. I've got maybe. I give it 50-50. I talked to a builder, and maybe we'll get a little cabin built here. I'm not sure. It depends on a lot of factors. One of them is the price, of course. And then the other is when can they get to it and get it completed, because I'll stay here through, well, if I got the house built, I may stay here through the end of October, 1st of November, depending on how cold it gets. I'm not sure what the winters are like here in Capitan, New Mexico. I know they get a little snow. Elevation's about 6,600 feet, and it does get a little colder here than it does in Texas normally. We do have some winters in Texas like we had 2 years ago or whenever that was in February, where we had an ice storm and it was a real mess. What does that have to do with Beer 30 and Sanity? Not a hell of a lot. So here's to you, here's to me. Muy bueno, muy bueno. You know, when I was a kid in Kennedy, Texas, I graduated from high school in 1963. And of course, I guess they still have them. We had proms, you know, where you had to rent a tux, and where I imagine most of y'all and the girls had to go get fancy dresses and stuff. It was the equivalent of a ball, you know what I mean? A real highbrow ball, which none of us were. We were all farmers' kids and stuff, you know, common folks. There were a few that might have been upper middle class or whatever, a few, but enough said. But I remember that was one. I have actually rented and worn a tux 2 times in my entire life, and you're going to get to know what those were right now as soon as I take a swaller of my Miller. Oh, they've got a new deal for. I'll show you. They cut some new cans for Miller Lite. It says a fine Pilsner. Now, what does that have to do with wearing a tuxedo? Well, I don't know how many of you have worn tuxedos. Often, I have not. Again, I've worn them on 2 occasions. And the first one was the prom in 1963, which I almost didn't get to go to because my dad had caught me rolling cigarettes and I was grounded. But my mother talked him into it, and there was only one place in Kennedy to get a tuxedo or rent them. You had to go to a clothing store and they'd measure you, kind of, and then they'd order up something that would be close to a fit. And then my mother would do. She did a few things to help out, but yeah, but it had the the little buttons on the. I mean, it was a full deal. You know what I mean? The little cute little thing, yeah, and tails, whatever. It was a tuxedo. I thought it looked like crap. Enough said. But yeah, that was one time, and then the second time that I wore a tux. This was in Victoria, Texas. They had what was every year in Victoria. The Chamber of Commerce or somebody, I can't remember, maybe it was a group of women, but they sponsored what was called the Charity Ball. And they always had it at the biggest facility in Victoria, and only the, quote, elites were invited, mainly. You had to have a few bucks to get in there. And but anyway, I got to go a couple of years. And the first time I wore a tux, the second time I wore just a suit. But the first time I went, I rented a tux there in Victoria. There was a place to rent a tux. And but the tux I rented was like one size fits all. It had these little adjustments on the waist side, on the waist. You could pull it in or let it out, whatever, and then you kind of fastened it some way. And anyway, so I wore that to the charity ball, and God, did I feel miserable. I mean, you had the little studs, I mean, I didn't know how to do anything, and tying that cute little bow tie and all that. Totally out of my league, man. I mean, I'm sure I looked like a hillbilly in a gunny sack. You know what I mean? And I felt that way too. And but anyway, I went, and yeah, it was a big deal. And yeah, my second wife or third, I can't remember. And I went, and yeah, she looked really good. I remember that she got her what I thought was it was a expensive dress, but it was simple looking. You know what I mean? It had little flowers and shit. You know what I mean? It was cute, and I thought she looked good. I mean, I thought she looked damn good, as a matter of fact. And yeah, we were there, and one of the things they had strawberries, and large strawberries, and then they had this thing next to it of like melted dark chocolate, and you could get this little plate, and then get your strawberries on there, 3 or 4, whatever, and then you could cover them with this dark chocolate. Woo, was that good, man? Oh man, I could have made a meal right there. But anyway, it was a big deal, and yeah, I enjoyed it. We drank quite a bit of booze, of course. I don't know how we staggered home, but we did. And that was the end of the tuxedo story right there. That was the last time. And of course, when I was working as a CPA for 20 plus years and even had my own I wore a suit and tie every day. I did. Every freaking day. Yep, dark suit, dark tie and a white shirt, or maybe a light blue, and dark black lace-up shoes. Oh no, I was Wall Street. I mean, I looked like Wall Street. Yeah. And I made a few bucks doing that. Would I do it again? Hell no. I mean, I was so glad to see corporations break out of that mold. Now they wear about whatever they want to wear at Google and Apple and, those super big deals. They come in on skateboards and stuff. And I like that idea. And these are my new sunglasses. I think I may have mentioned that. Yeah, these are what they call Carrera. These were just regular sunglasses, but I took them to the optometrist and had them put in prescription lenses. So these are now prescription sunglasses. Yeah, they're kind of cute, aren't they? Yeah, I got them on Amazon. They're Carrera, C-A-R-R-E-R-A. Yeah, C-A-R-R-E-R-A, Carrera. And you can get them for about, I think the frames cost me $60, and which is good. I mean, if you check out other frames, good frames, and these are good ones, they're going to cost you $100, $200. But no, these are muy bueno. Yeah, Carrera. So anyway, what else I got to tell you? I'm going to have a swallow of beer. Here's to you, here's to me, guys. Remain sane, remain sane. You can tell I'm sane. Here I'm introducing my new pee jug. There's Sanity for you. Take a picture of this. there's a guy that's sane. Why do I do that? It's the kind of guy I am. That's all I can tell you. So here's to you, here's to me. Chug a lug. Oh, that was good. But anyway, I remember the girl I took to the prom. Her husband's dead now. He was actually a friend of mine for a while. And I had to go pick her up in another town about 5 miles away. But her dress, good God. Now, this is the prom, 1963. But I don't know but the dress, my God, to get her in the car, and sit down was and hell, I was really shy, okay, really shy. And, here's this girl that's beautiful and and has on all this stuff and what the hell am I supposed to do? Here I got this 1954 Ford that I'm trying to get her in, and fortunately it was a 4-door, but it didn't matter. No, we got it worked out, but yeah, we went to the prom, and then God, that was one of the biggest mistakes I ever made in my life. Was I don't know how I even got a date with her. It was kind of an arranged thing, and anyway. But I could have followed up on that had I been smart, because she came from a wealthy family, and she was pretty, and she was. But I never even asked her out again. That was really a big mistake on my part. I should have followed up on, but I was just brain dead. The reason I took her home right after the prom was over and dropped her off, then I raced back. Caught up with some of my buddies that were going to the beach and get drunk and stuff. It was about 90 miles to the beach. It was like Disney World. It's like that when you're a kid. You do such dumb crap. And did anybody spike the punch bowl at the prom? I didn't. I didn't, but somebody did. Somebody put in about, I don't know, it might have been a full pint of vodka, because you can't really taste it in the deal, and yeah, it helped. It kind of moved the stuff up to another level. And we had a band there, and it was really playing all the old songs. You know what I mean? The really old stuff. It's howdy doody time. Yeah, M-I-C-K-E-Y. That was our high school song. M-I-C-K-E-Y, M-O-U-S-E. Yeah, it was because it was pretty Mickey Mouse stuff. And what else? But yeah, the good old days. Yeah. The more I've often said that the good old days are now. I don't know, man. I may have to eat a little crow on that. There's a crow right here. Yeah, there's some crow. I think I've eaten that. Yeah, but no, I don't know. It's a lot of changes in the world. And when I went to Walmart today to get reload on beer, you know what I mean? I can run out of anything, but I don't want to run out of beer. And with the chia seeds, 2.5 pound bag was like $10, and I think I only paid 15 for that 5.5. Well, of course that was 2 years ago, but that's still a pretty good price increase. And as far as wine has gone up a little bit, and beer hasn't gone up. At least I didn't notice it. Maybe because I don't look at the price. I just say, well, whatever it is, I'm going to buy it anyway. Here's to you guys. Skol, Prost, whatever. Mm-hmm. So you guys got things planned for this, quote, long weekend? Probably over half of us are retired, and a long weekend is just another day, But I can remember at one time, when you got those long 3-day or 4-day weekends, yeah, that was a time to do something. Even though I don't know that we did a lot. I don't know that I did. I mean, we'd maybe go to the beach or go up in the Texas Hill Country or something like that. That was a big event. But yeah. But anyway, what else can I tell you? I've told you so many stories, I can't remember which ones I've told and which ones I haven't. But I can remember. We did take trips when I was a kid. Not, certainly not. We'd go visit relatives, maybe 60 miles away, and but that was it. And but God, we had one group of kin folks. I won't mention their names, but they were like the Beverly Hillbillies, man. They lived out in the country, and yeah, they were the kids were rough. I'm telling you, and I didn't want to be left alone with any of them guys, and because hell, they'd come around, and they'd bring chicken eggs, and they just crack them and eat them raw. You know what I mean? Well, raw egg ain't gonna hurt you, but I had no desire, because then they say, "Here, you want one? Do you?" With all 3 teeth, you want one? No, I really don't, man. I mean, I appreciate it, but just soon have it scrambled if you don't mind. If you got a little pan. No, but it was yeah, they were scary dudes, man. And I didn't want to go. But, you know, we'd all go, the whole family go, and I remember mother and daddy, oh, you're going to see Aunt so and so and Uncle so and so. You're going to be, oh, you have so much fun. Well, they did. They had a wagon that had an old donkey pulling it, and that was kind of cute, I guess. You know, but you know, I thought we were country. These people were in the Stone Age. You know what I mean? And so what has that got to do with the price of poker or the price of beer in Lithuania? Nothing, guys. Not a thing. Here's to you. Here's to me. Mm. Let me see here. What's a good story? Okay. Uh, I think I may have told y'all this one too, but I'll tell it again. Do any of y'all remember a firecracker called a cherry bomb? Okay, it was about as big around as your thumb, you know, or this, like right, you know, it was about this big around. It was a little round thing, and usually they were red and had a little green fuse coming up. But the fuse was waterproof. Okay, in other words, you could pack mud around it and throw it in the water or a river or whatever, and it'd sink, and boom, then the little thing would come up. And but anyway, in Kennedy High School, it was two levels. Okay, you had the first level and the second level, and what they did to save on plumbing costs is the toilets in the men or the boys' restroom on the first level was right below the ones on the second level. You know, the plumbing was common plumbing. You know, it all used the same. I guess back then they used stainless steel. I don't know what they used, or steel, whatever. Anyway, but since when we found out that cherry bombs were waterproof, it didn't take one of us long to figure out. I can't imagine who it was. Certainly wouldn't have been me. But if you flushed, you lit one and you flushed it down the toilet from the second level, it would go off in the pipe, and then it would blow water out of the bottom toilets and a little bit out of the first or second level toilets. But it would just go woof in the second level, but on the first level, whoosh, I mean, the water would come up like 2 or 3 feet. We checked it out. Well, anyway, the principal, I won't mention his name either, but every now and then he'd go into the restroom to do his constitutional morning or afternoon, whatever. You know, we kind of had his schedule down, but yeah, he went in, and you know, guy downstairs kind of, we got the word, you know, he's in stall number 1. You know, this one upstairs got him. You know what I mean? And so we did. We flushed one cherry bomb down the toilet, and yeah, he got wet. Yeah, that was funny. We thought it was funny, and but you know, we of course all go back to the classroom, and you know, of course, by the time he got cleaned up and got around, you know, of course he knew who did it. You know, there's only like probably 6 or 8 troublemakers in the whole high school, and so you know, the rest of them were normal people, I guess, or normal kids, and we were kind of strange. I tell you what else and I did this myself. At my home out in the country, there was these pipes under our cistern, which was about 10 feet off the ground, and there was these pipes under this big tank, but they were open. You know, you could take a broom and push it through there and have a tow sack or a bag on the other end, and you get a whole sack full of birds sometime. Well, not a sack, but you get 5 or 6 birds, you know, little wrens, you know, that were nesting in there. And so, you know, and then what you could do, and I know this is cruel and I'll get a lot of feedback on this, but my God, you got to remember I was like, you know, 10 years old or in that range. And I guess that's the way it was done back then, but just don't go crazy, or all you tree huggers and stuff. But what I found out was if you put 2 cherry bombs on a bird, it couldn't carry them, okay? But if you put 1 cherry bomb on a bird and lit it, then the bird would fly about 6 or 8 feet off the ground, and then boom, you know, disappear, you know, I mean, go into the la la land. So anyway, I had some birds in the bag. We went in town, some of my buddies, and so we go in the movie theater, okay? And yeah, damn, man, I was in the we got up in the balcony, and yeah, you just took some a string and tied it on there, you know, pretty snug. It'd stay. You just kind of looped it around in figure 8s, on the bird's leg, and then you lit the fuse and just let the bird go. You know, the bird, and of course the bird flew straight ahead to that screen, the bright light in the theater, and I guess clung to it because it blew a hole in the damn screen. And yeah, we would have really got in trouble for that. But we hauled ass because there was a way to get out of the balcony. There was a little opening that you could go out of the balcony into the top of this furniture store next door, and then go out on the roof of the furniture store, and then down this little fire escape and exit. So that's what we did. We escaped, but not enough. We still had some birds left, and so what I did then, there was another guy that did this. He said, well, hell, put two on there. No, I said, no, it doesn't work, man. The bird can't fly but about 3 or 4 feet off the ground if it does that. Anyway, he said, hey, let's see. So anyway, he did it, and lit them both. Bird flies off, and it flew about, I don't know, 20 yards and grabbed onto the screen door. And there was a door, the regular door behind the screen was a glass, like an oval, and the bird lit there, and yeah, it blew all that glass into the house and shit. Yeah, we were like little vandals, weren't we? Yeah. And yeah, but I didn't. We didn't do that every day. That was like one shot. But yeah, that was not nice. So ever since then, I've been really nice to birds. I feed them and I pet them and I say, "Oh, bird, you're so wonderful." But anyway, guys, having said that, here's to you, here's to me, and all you little kids out there, don't try that shit. No. No, well, they don't even sell those firecrackers anymore. The things they sell now are basically nothing. I mean, we had M80s, which were actually practice hand grenades in the military. They'd throw them like hand grenades. M80s, and then T-bombs, and then cherry bombs, whatever. Kind of got off on firecrackers here. But anyway, guys, be careful out there and don't do any of this dumb things that I did when I was a kid. And if you ever have to get a tuxedo, hell, I don't know what to tell you, man. God dang. Don't put yourself in a position where you need to wear one, okay? Ever. I think they're silly. I think they've always been silly. In fact, it's like the British courtroom. The guys wear the wigs. They still wear the wigs today, okay? Yo. No, I'm not kidding you. Yeah. And anyway, having said that, thumbs up, guys. Carpe diem, adios, bye-bye. Buy anything you want anytime. Use the Amazon link. Drink plenty of water. Stretch, walk. And, yeah, maintain your health. And yeah, just remember that when you're young, you do stupid stuff. And I did my share, and I'm sure most of you did too, if you're honest. But there's going to be a few come back and probably take a shot at me, which will be fine with me. And having said that, guys, enjoy your evening, enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. Adios, amigos. Until next time, Skol, bros. Bye-bye, guys. Remain sane. Just like me. As soon as I get over this twitch.